Hello, adventurers.
Hello.
Welcome to my table.
Hey,
Today
you.
we will be playing the dragons and the dungeons.
You are finally awake.
Hey you, you're finally awake.
It has been redacted. Amount of years.
How many? How
There,
many?
there is
Redacted.
nothing left
Oh,
for
okay.
you. It is
The cake
just
is a lie.
you now.
The cake is a lie.
Bye. Okay, it's great. Get shot for copyright.
Doesn't
Well.
count if we sing it bad enough.
By the way, okay.
Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to another episode of the
Hello.
Oddities campaign. I don't think we really have anything before we get started tonight, other than just a usual shout out to our Patreon. You get exclusive, shout outs at the end of the streams and videos that we make, as well as at the highest tier, a permanent discount on everything in our merch store, and of course, exclusive Discord access. The higher your tier, the more channels you get access to, and we'll occasionally be doing things like basically like gaming with patrons here and there, just having some fun, all that fun stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check it out. Other than that, if you want to check out our gaming stuff, you can just go to D-Fourtress Gaming. It's literally on both platforms the exact same underscore for Twitch, dash for YouTube, and then just put gaming after our name. Not rocket science.
But it is close.
Especially.
I'd say it's about quantum physics level.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But I think that is quite literally everything. So let's go ahead, roll that intro.
Hey. You'll never know when it's coming.
A very ominous thing when they don't have the context.
3, 2, 1.
Don't do any.
Alrighty. So, last we left off, the Oddities had an encounter with the legendary Phantom of the Eskimar Sea. And in less than 10 seconds, completely just shrank it and drove away. Shrank it, nailed it to the floor, and just stepped on the gas.
I just can't believe it felt the strength save afterwards. So.
Like, even though it had, like, disadvantage on it because it's small, it's still really good at him. But not much I could do with the with the nat. I think that one was a natural 2. So yeah. Upon just completely destroying it in an encounter, nowhere close to killing it, but just neutralizing it quickly and effectively, especially with the spell used by Belden. The sailors you were with kind of looked at you in a different light, once again, especially Belden. And there were whispers of him being crowned Phantom Breaker. Belden totally not letting this go to his head. Ingratiated himself among the other sailors. But you finally managed to arrive in Snowdrift. Here in Snowdrift, very stonework architecture. And with a near constant freezing rain, with the ice, cold, and humidity, yet seems to be warmed by these fountains. An underground heating system that uses the natural hot springs underground that seem to be maintained by a fire elemental who Reikos has made a bet that he knows the name. He knows the name of this elemental, and has bet 100 gold from both Belden and Ghost.
I made sure to divvy out our money so I could get the money back.
He wants the satisfaction of taking it from our hands.
I just need this win, guys.
Ghost had taken the other two to her favorite establishment here in Snowdrift, a lavish inn known as Tulip's Place. To which, upon being greeted with what would be an extremely expensive establishment, the proprietor, Tulip, had come to greet you, seeming to have a web of informants and working as part of an organization for which she had called the Web of Whispers. She seemed to poke fun at Siva a little bit. And had tasked you with finding a special magical dagger, as she had located a pre-Black Gate vault that she believes that the dagger was being kept in. And after that introduction, you decided to take it easy for the rest of the night, finding the perfect place to watch the sunset, and finally finding a Valdesian restaurant to which you could try sushi. And ordering a large amount so you can try a little bit of everything. Partway through your meal, a new figure joined your table. A tiefling wearing fine clothes, a plume of feathers on the shoulder of his cloak. Large, a tiefling man with burning red skin and markings all along. Sat down, thanked you for the meal, and introduced himself as Darimos. And that is where the time is now yours.
I think immediately.
Coughing.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I'm like,
coughing.
yeah, so I'm like coughing, and I like stand up for a sec, knock some of the plate over, and like food goes on the thing. It's nice to meet you. One sec. Belden a little help.
Like slap you on the back.
A little fish pops out.
Yeah, people,
Well,
other
that's
diners
embarrassing.
just kind of go and like look at you.
Sorry. My apologies. Darimos, it's so nice to finally meet you.
Wait,
Oh.
you haven't met him before?
No. Oh.
No.
Darimos will like look at Ghost and just be like, they're like carbon copies of your old friends.
Not quite. You'll see later.
But what brings you into town? I mean, it's a pleasure meeting you finally.
A threat from her. And he jabs a thumb over at Ghost.
It wasn't a threat. I simply told you that you need to come here.
Or else.
I never said that per se.
Wise man.
I have learned enough to be able to... I've written enough contracts to be able to read between the lines, as it were. And you see he, like, flags down one of the servers. Could you bring me some sake, please? Thank you.
Well, it's good finally seeing you after all this time.
Yeah, it's not like you stay in one place either.
Peering into smoke is never as good as the real thing. You should know that.
Oh, too well. So,
This is Rekos, and that's Belden. We had a couple others, but you know, they had to do other things. Business. Months.
oh, isn't that how it usually goes?
They are going to be incredibly jealous that I got to speak to you first.
Especially Badger.
She doesn't shut up about you, but in a good way.
I have that effect on some people. Bless it or curse it, people can't seem to get my name out of their mouths.
Don't act like you don't talk about me.
Oh, all the time.
It's a mutual talking.
Mostly how terrifying she is, I'd imagine.
I'm not terrifying in the least.
I meant
but-
intense. Intense.
Good.
No, I think you were spot on the first time around.
I was not always this way.
Oh yes, she used to be quite the little punk, as it were.
So I've been learning these past couple of days.
Actually,
Almost
no.
like her son, like your son Dagger.
Oh dear. Upon hearing that, you see him kind of internally cringe a little bit.
Oh, I found him, by the way, with the help of Bor.
Oh, so Bolv has been keeping track of him.
It seems he's at North Peak with his friends.
Right, well, I haven't sensed any mortal danger.
I have the map, too. I took it. He'll probably find it's missing really soon, but
Knowing him,
at
he'll
least I have it
probably
now.
turn his entire home upside down, thinking he might have thrown it into the fire by accident.
Absolutely. Oh, did you know him and Kay are together?
Really?
Really?
I
I
never
never suspected it.
I didn't realize that Kate would go for someone so short.
Right? She always described the tallest of men.
She had a thing for half
I don't
giants.
see why that is such a captivating feature.
I mean, look at him. And she just gestures to Darimos. It's like... But it seems they are together. You'd think with all their spats they wouldn't have such a connection. But I saw him wearing her mask.
Now that's a dead giveaway, because I don't think anyone else in their right mind would wear something like that.
They wouldn't even touch it. Even I couldn't. Even I couldn't.
It was kind of ugly.
Well,
Terrifying.
It's not ugly, it sends a message. It's more sanitary. Do you know how much blood has gotten on that thing over the course of the last decade or so? I don't think it's been disinfected properly.
After a while, I didn't want to touch it.
I thought it was just stained red.
Nope.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
They are both quite brutal when the need arises.
Oh, he was quite helpful. We encountered some werebears, and Borv held his own quite well from the sound of Belden.
Mm-hmm.
Werebears.
More like infected werebears, not your traditional ones.
Some wizard was making some druid was making a den mother, as he called it. To spread this plague. We stopped it. I burned down a barn. No, same old, same old.
Intriguing. Well,
Wait, when did you last talk to Darimos?
When we got that scroll, we didn't get the scroll. When we drew the at the one place, the church.
Ah,
It was
Right,
after
after
that
that.
I showed him the scroll that was drawn up of the diagram.
right.
Figured out it was a summoning spell.
Did you tell him about your brother? No, that was afterwards.
That was afterwards. Oh, he knows I'm alive now.
My turn to pat him on the back a little bit.
well, that severely complicates things.
It does. I know. We had a run-in with his new pets, and I just couldn't resist. I heard his voice, and I just had to.
Darling, you know I love you, but I believe your flair for the dramatic might be your downfall.
Probably will. But what a dramatic fall it will be.
I have no doubt.
You should see the outfit I was wearing. Very nice. It's called Winter's Veil. You'll like it.
This one almost was wearing a wet dream. Point at Rico's.
Lies. I didn't want it. She wanted it.
Oh, I helped design that line. I'm just kidding.
I was thinking about her that night. And I thought, what would be the worst thing I could possibly think of to bother her with?
Also, you should know the mayor who you have made contracts with was quite useful to us. He was very helpful.
Indeed.
Ah, yes. Good old Adelar. Interesting chap. But you know how politicians can be. But I suppose he's not too bad for a politician.
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I found him quite nice. So, have you always been a devil? Is it?
Well,
Did you like become one? Because you look like a tiefling. I have to ask.
well, yes, of course I look like this. Otherwise, people would be in panic at my mere presence.
I wasn't.
It's an illusion.
Just put some more sushi back in my mouth.
Yes, he's always been a devil.
Not quite an illusion. I can change my shape, albeit limited.
Speaking of shape changing, Ivor has been pretty useful thus far. Thank you for sending him over.
A bit full of it, but useful.
That's the best part.
I find it entertaining and endearing.
Yes.
Oh,
He's found a new sense of freedom with us.
Oh, you would not believe where I found him originally. Cost me quite a pretty penny to get him. Somebody was running a fight club for imps. And then the victor got the wonderful pleasure of being set front and center as cannon fodder for the Blood War. So, after he won, I bet against him, hence the cost. But when they put him on the front lines, I just went and I plucked him right out.
He's quite the unassuming one. Mouth of a sailor. But he has a heart of gold. I like him. He has a heart, right?
And he's right here.
I know, but he's a crow. I mean, he can't talk back. Can he? Can you talk back, Ivor?
I'm here.
There it is.
He can say the words that matter.
Ah, good. Like what? What can you say? Besides, fuck you.
Twas trickery that brought him to me. The best
I'm glad to see you are treating my partner well.
Who is he saying that to?
To
You're welcome.
to Belden and Rakos.
Ah, okay.
Just trying to keep us alive through all the trouble she brings us to.
I see she's been a good friend thus far.
I think more people can relate to that than you'd think.
As if your life was peaceful before I came around.
Yes,
Just made it
but
more interesting.
true, but before, all I had to deal with was the random paladin getting too big for his britches. Now, it's the underground shady folk that like to pay me visits.
Which is funny, because you've turned a new leaf. I think it's probably because they think, oh, he's the devil, he's just like the rest. Yeah.
It always makes me laugh seeing the reactions when I'm able to set foot on holy ground. Someone allows me to be there.
Good old times. I want to see that again. It's always so funny the way they look. They're just horrified.
They tried to cast me out with prayer, and I just enter. Might sit down at a pew, listen to a sermon, see everybody wriggle in their seats. Then I'll leave. It's quite entertaining.
You'd think it's a can of sardines with how squished they are on the other side of the building. Truly amusing.
So, I have to be honest. I grew up. You hear stories, devils and demons and monsters and creatures of the night and things of the sort, and they always paint devils in a negative light. But first one I ever met was Ivor, and he's been quite pleasant. And then she's spoken up so highly of you. How did you become different, I guess? Because everything I've seen so far goes contrary to all the stories I've heard growing up.
It is worth noting that I am a fringe case. Most of my colleagues are exactly what you'd think of in the stories. And so was I. Took a lot of hard work, effort, and persuasion. Basically, it took someone that could break me of what was in my default nature, as it were. Sometimes it still feels weird. I have instincts.
I think I can relate. She made me get on a boat once.
Right.
Twice. Was it twice? It was twice.
Twice.
Man,
was
she
twice.
really does a number on you.
Exactly.
I'm just so convincing.
And each time we almost died.
That was the best part.
Okay, but the Phantom was much more interesting than the Harpies. I did not like the Harpies.
That's fair.
They were hideous. Ugh.
Did you know I've hit one of those with a ballista over 500 meters away?
Make a deception check.
With my +0. 15.
He kind of raises an eyebrow. You might want to measure that distance again.
Oh, I triple measured it.
That's why it tripled, probably.
Didn't you say 450 yesterday?
No, it was 500, I swear.
Maybe you should swear less.
But I mean, either way, it was still a good. I imagine it was a good shot.
Was. The adventure we've gone on already. So eventful.
Killed a Yeti,
Mhm.
battled some witches,
Mhm.
killed a hag. What else have we done? We found some vampires.
Mhm.
We blew up a lot of boats.
Mhm.
Saved some people.
Big
First
flesh
Killed a murderer.
things we battled.
zombie thing.
Zombie things. Oh yes, there was the gnolls, and the zombies, and the ghost that almost killed us.
You seem
Almost
to be
killed
getting
me.
in quite a lot of trouble as of late, my dear.
It's actually been quite. Is fun the right word?
Yes.
Exciting.
Exhilarating. I can't help myself, you know that. I was so bored, just waiting for something to happen. And then, something did. Crashed out of the sky from a giant metal bird.
Oh yes, that too. That's how we met.
Mm. I mean, we would have met either way. We were all going to the same place.
Right. It is a shame that you aren't meeting Pax right now. I think you would get along quite nicely with them.
You'd be the best of friends, I just know it.
You see her dog. Roof.
Ivor, you're a dog now?
Woof.
New form
Woof.
unlocked.
No, it's Borf. Borf.
He's a Pokemon now. Borv, use rage.
Borf.
Uh,
But yes, meeting Pax and Badger.
they would enjoy our mission now as well.
I think so.
Delving into the dungeons, the pretty Blackgate ruins, finding a dagger.
You know the usual.
You know the one Tulip's been looking for.
Son is locked into a dungeon now.
If he's anything like her, I wouldn't.
If
be surprised.
he's looking for the same knife, what's a coincidence?
Well, I
hope
mean,
we
I-
meet up.
I'd say he's gone the wrong way because he's in North Peak.
That's true. Who says they can't meet up
Darling.
somewhere?
I've been reading up, and it seems that dad jokes still go way over your head.
I got it.
Good now. Anyway.
Good job, Belden. Good man. I like him. He laughs at my jokes.
Well, if I got them, maybe I would laugh. And you know I get most of them. You make it sound as if I never laugh at your jokes.
Darling, don't take this the wrong way, but usually your laugh is more the laugh of a killer.
You like it.
Oh, very much. I am a devil after all, and there are some habits you just can't break.
As for the habits, I'm planning on delving into the deep end again.
Oh dear.
Our mission from Siva brings us rather close to dear brother. So I think I'm going to kill two birds with one stone.
Wait, what's the other bird?
He didn't ask us to kill my brother.
Well, I know, but we already accomplished the mission of Siva. We haven't had anything else new yet.
He said we could cause some havoc.
Where?
So maybe find out what he's making, burn blueprints.
I personally have my eyes set out for that taskmaster. He
Hmm.
just irks me the wrong way.
Oh, I would be careful with that one. He was made with very special capabilities. Doing investigative work, it seems that It may be harder to kill than it might appear at first glance.
Speaking
Well, we're really
of,
good at hitting stuff.
right. Crushing them.
Shrinking them, burning them.
It's a good time. But speaking of trained killers, how well informed are you as far as hired assassins?
I would say there are a few that I keep tabs on.
Do you know of an Asa McClan?
Big shot with dreams bigger than what his skills allow.
Prefers traps and crossbow? I got a bit ahead of myself and crushed his head, and we were not able to interrogate him. I was just wondering if you might have connections to find out who would have hired him to come after us.
I can think of several theories, but nothing concrete. There is, of course, Crimson Crown is a likely suspect. If you were to put yourselves in his sights. But they tend to take matters into their own hands.
Right.
Now,
Up
someone...
until that moment, I wouldn't say we were necessarily on the radar.
No. Outsourcing problems like this sounds like the purview of his close friend, Marigold. Or one of his subsidiaries.
The man I tried to pickpocket.
Well, that would certainly put you in his sights. He's not one to take kindly. My personal dealings with the man, I've found him to be rather petty.
How did a big lug like you get the idea to try to pickpocket someone and think you can get away with it?
He had one of those journals, which was stolen from the corpse of one of our colleagues.
It was worth the try.
I admit I fumbled, but I don't regret trying.
I'm just imagining very dramatically how a giant like Regos would try to pickpocket someone much smaller than him.
It's while we were passing through the door. I bumped into him and tried to slide it off of him, but he noticed. You'd be surprised. These runes do more than just negate damage or put flames on there. It has some quite useful properties as well. You see, this one helps me with tracking, and this one over here helps me be more nimble. As far as nibble with the fingers.
Which rune is it that turns people into giant dinosaurs?
That one wasn't me. That I did not turn you into the dinosaur. But this large one turns me large. Oh, and this one here helps loosen the tongue a bit.
I'm gonna like shy away from him. Go back and grab some sushi.
Old giant magic is truly something to behold. So simple yet complex at the same time.
Needless to say, I can't help it. Needless to say, my wife loved these two runes.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you made the first dad joke.
Needless to say, huh?
The words needless to say should be followed with nothing but silence.
I told you they were the carbon copy.
No, that seems just like Bulv to make an off-color joke like that.
True, but he never went that far.
That's also true.
Of course, it's probably because he didn't have a wife.
That's also true.
Or nimble fingers.
And that. That might be why he doesn't have a wife.
You get a big belly laugh out of Raycos with that one.
But if you're truly planning on stirring the pot, then I guess I will do my due diligence and start running some recon.
That would be much appreciated. We're going to be delving into the dungeon for the dagger first, to get whatever information Tulip has. It seems she has her hands on a web that runs very deep. Might save you some time.
Possibly.
Hopefully find some other treasure.
Mm.
That being said,
is guarding it.
That being said, try not to rush into this. Even from your last attempt. Oh, their arsenal has compounded.
We've experienced that.
I don't think that...
Some of it, obviously.
Let me show you something. He pulls out a notebook and sets it on the table. Automatons need to be programmed with a very specific task in mind. Protect this. Lift that. Move it over here. That is, until now. Somehow he's managed to link these automatons together in almost a hive mind. Before, you would need to program each one individually, and in order for them to communicate with each other, they would have to be in each other's presence, like any two people talking. But somehow, he has managed to connect his constructs together to where they can communicate from near anywhere, instantaneously. If you went all the way to Valdish and one of his constructs saw you, he would know within the minute.
That's why he could talk to me.
Exactly. It's...
So who knows where he was at?
But that's just the thing. Those are just the basic cognitive functions of what he is making. There are... I went to one of the old testing sites. One of the places that your parents would use in order to test explosives. It was hard to pick up on, but I did pick up some faint traces of magic. Something very powerful was detonated there. Safe to assume that you are picking a fight with one of the leading powers in weapons and technology development in the whole of Auroran. Very few people can even match the level of ingenuity. I believe his only realistic competitors would be the mother of engineering over in Alabast, or that strange recluse Kohari, and his doppelganger.
It's just becoming more apparent why we need to stop him. If we don't, he could ruin life as we know it. That's not something I wish to see.
He's always wanted that power. That's why he supplied the Crimson Bloods during their invasion. Basically, whatever side would give him the most benefit, because any benevolent force wouldn't try to conquer in the first place, but if they did, they probably wouldn't let a man like him sit on an ivory throne as he wants. But if this goes on too far, he might be able to cut out the middleman. Who needs an army when you can just make one? A much more effective army that doesn't need to eat, sleep, drink, feel pain, and can communicate from any distance at any time.
It does not sound good. That's quite the spy network. And from the sounds of it, that is not the kind of person who should have that kind of power.
No one
Exactly.
should have that kind of power.
Which leads me to my next concern. If he is capable of all that, then why is he interested in this scavenger hunt as well?
A blade that can cut through nearly anything?
No, not the dagger. He's always been a purveyor of magical items, because each one he has is something he can actually equip one of his automatons with, likely. But for someone with this level of resources that he has access to, why? The questions we need to ask is, why is he and every big player around this area seem to be interested in these journals, in this ancient adventurer?
Perhaps he unlocked a power that no one could imagine.
As far as I can tell, this individual's history does not line up with any god from the pantheon of ascendancy, so no ascension to godhood could be mustered, at least with the evidence we've been given. And beyond that, why is he working with Marigold and people of his caliber when he can self-sufficient? And why does he have a contract with Alexander Marshall and the Iron Soul?
I don't know.
Wonder how many journals they've found.
I wonder how many there
found-
are.
I know I'm in it just for the adventure itself.
Well,
Treasure sounds nice, but I just spent too many years not. There were many, many opportunities to leave with my friend Danarok, and I chose to stay. So, I'm determined to beat them to it. That's part of the fun.
well, there at least seems to be several other individuals that share your sentiment. But we just have to make sure we keep it out of their hands, whatever it is. Can't be good either way.
And if we can't get it before them, we'll have to make sure no one can get them.
Now, regarding your brother, there is still one major issue that we run into taking him down. If you were to launch a full-scale assault, or even a clandestine mission, people would notice that he would have gone missing. Eventually discover that he had been killed.
He would become a martyr.
He would become a martyr. And at least the general population, he's still a stand-up citizen, doing good by the country. A renowned patriot. As they were able to cast the blame on the involvement with the Crimson Bloods with a Splinter Cell faction within the company in order to shift blame. And thus he was able to aid in the recovery process as well, as a show of good faith. The thing is, regardless, if you take him out, that makes you public enemy number one. And of course, once he's gone, another executive will just take his place. Effective or not, you'll have to cut out this ivy from the roots. In order to dismantle everything, you have to hit him where it hurts. His reputation. If there is some way that we can expose him for what he really is to the masses, next thing you know, investors will be pulling out. People will refuse to work with him under fear of affiliation with his methods.
Destroy his entire empire.
And then burn it to the ground.
Exactly.
Burn every bridge he has so there's none to flee across. And in lieu of that, you'll be able to cripple his funding.
I wonder if there would be a way to turn his creations against him. That would be hilarious.
I mean, I still want to literally burn it to the ground.
Absolutely. There's no question it will literally be burning.
It's kind of on brand for her at this point.
I know, I've grown to like it.
But these are all important questions that you must be pondering if you are to make any significant progress.
Oh, yes. As much as I make it a dramatic spectacle, I wasn't going to rush into it. You know me.
All too well. You see, he takes a sip of his sake. Well,
Huh. Well, I suppose we'll just have to see how we can ruin him. Non-violently, unfortunately.
at least at first.
Yes.
Then you can spearhead the operation to deal with him.
Once he becomes public enemy, we strike. No harm, no foul.
But I assume we'll get to crush a lot of those little metal men along the way. They make a satisfying crunch when your hammer is twice the size of their torso.
And when you just hit him down into a hole.
Just repeatedly.
It was hilarious. The clanging sound it made.
Forgot about that. It's like a game.
It was. Like whack a robot.
Yes.
Whack a bot. Eh.
And I assure you, those were most likely prototypes. And
Other advanced ones.
one other thing to possibly consider, if there is to see if there is a way to sever this connection his automatons have with each other.
We do need to do that. That's the best way to turn them against him.
Or just shut them down. Crush them.
Or you can find a way to relay orders to them.
Exactly. Let them crush each other. Let them crush him. That way it's not our fault. He just has faulty prototypes.
I could see that working.
Faulty machines is a public concern.
I mean, how well known are these metal men?
Not very. He's probably kept it under wraps.
I had never heard of them before,
Exactly.
but I'm not that well connected.
It's true. As far as we know, it's only our informants that are on the inside that got us that information. So I think he's not planning on having it become public. However, if we made it public, he would be forced to.
Not to change the tone a bit, but I just realized Darimos, you're a man of connections. At least you appear to be.
Most of my connections are people that I have contracts with. Other than that, most of my information comes from first-hand sleuthing.
Do you have a way to get down to the elemental below the city, the one that heats it?
Never had need to, so I'm afraid not.
You know its name, perchance? Card name?
I do not.
Sorry to change the subject, it just came into my mind.
I told you Tulip's connections could get us down there.
Right. I'm just afraid she'll charge us for it.
She can put it on my tab.
I kind of glance at Darimos.
What do you want me to do?
Her tab is your tab. We both know that.
Hey, I have made all my payments. I am not in debt.
Fair.
I wouldn't do that to him.
Unfortunately, my ways of spending gold are quite limited. Most of my, rather than dealing with souls, I deal with more material things in my contracts. Gold is a bit not as useful as, would say, extra in terms of extra planar usefulness, so I tend to deal in assets rather than gold.
Why we have so many beautiful properties.
Speaking of which, got a new one.
No. Where?
Down in Ehrensil, actually.
Yeah?
Got a nice, beautiful stone fortress carved into a hillside with a beautiful view of the Crystal Tower Academy.
I see.
I was invited there to give a lecture on devils and the hells and summoning rituals and how to keep certain entities from running amok.
I didn't expect a fortress. What a gift.
It's quite small in terms of what we're used to, but very defensible if one needed a place outside of the country to lay low for whatever reason that I can't fathom to think of.
It's a great safe house. You did well.
But I'm afraid my visit here isn't all, isn't all pleasantries and fond reunions. I do have some contracts I need to check up on here in Snowdrift.
I know.
But I am free for the rest of tonight. It can wait till the morning.
This is why I said Tulip's place gets better after dark.
Because he's here?
Everything's more interesting with the devil around.
I'd say. Can't get Ivor to shut up.
And he go and you see he takes a sip of tea. Right, Ivor, you'll be staying in his room tonight. And he points at where he goes.
You're bunking with me.
And he's just like, oh, not to worry, friends. The soundproofing at that establishment is top notch.
Don't need to know.
What? I thought you liked crass jokes.
Yes, Ivor snoring can get pretty bad.
Right, that's what you were saying.
I'm sure Tulip will enjoy seeing you again as well.
Somehow I doubt it.
How was it you left our room last time? You got in that little contest with Bor.
Yes. I prefer not to dwell on it.
He won and you know it.
Only because it was a contest of brute strength and nothing else. There was no wit, no strategy, no nothing.
It was an arm wrestle.
So,
Broke the table.
and might have set the floor on fire with trying to use some afterburn to my advantage.
Hence why she was concerned that I might break the place.
She remodeled it entirely. Not even the carvings are there.
Can't wait to see it. Shall we get the check?
All right.
So, eventually pay.
Just eating a little bit more, just...
You pay, and you leave, and you set out into the city. Super late at night now. And eventually you make it back to Tulip's place. Up to the gorgeous suite. Rain pattering on the windows. With a lovely complimentary drinks brought up to the suite. And with that, you all eventually, the fatigue of wandering around and learning all this new information gets to each of you. And you all retire to your rooms. You can all take a long rest if you need it.
Not her. She takes a short rest.
And that's where we're going to go on break.
You're terrible.
That's fine. Oh, so that's like why warlocks get everything on a short rest. Because they're always hanging out with their patrons. Oh man! All right, we will be back in
I'm
about.
leaving this campaign.
We will be back in about 15 minutes. So about 6:33, 6:34 for play reference. So we will can pick up right there. So see y'all in just a sec. So, come the next morning. Let's see, this is a little bit solemn. More solemn than what I was thinking it was going to be.
Ghost isn't solemn today.
Let's do nice, no music, just some ambiance of a crackling fire. You hear some work going on outside through the open windows. Chill air rolling in. As the sunlight peeks through. Reiko, as you come to wake, you turn over on the pillow next to you. You see the bat-like form of Ivor, just a solid line of drool.
For the last time, Ivor, there are several other rooms that aren't being used.
But Darimos told him to room with you.
But what if you get attacked? What if you get attacked? You might need the help of a Kraken Slayer badass like me.
It's true. But you know what I could also do in that moment? I could just, shout and wake you up from the other room.
I was going to say, scream for help.
Reiko's screaming.
He's just like,
I mean, oh.
Ivor like sits up and he's just like, I struggle opening doors.
You're right. My apologies. Well, what's done is done.
Yeah, he's like, can't believe you suggest something so stupid. Meanwhile, Belden.
Oh gosh.
In your room, luckily there's no unwanted visitors. As far as you can tell.
Maybe a spider in the corner. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
as if Tulip would let a spider reside. Well, you know what? Never mind. Probably a spider.
Meldon, as you awake, you notice that one of your windows is open as well. Which probably awoke you as it started getting pretty cold. But as you start getting up, you hear this little flutter. And a small bird just perches right on the windowsill. Kind of looks at you. Tilts its head.
You're cold there, little buddy. Gonna kind of slowly walk towards it with like my hand out. See if it'll like hop on or something. I don't know.
As you reach your hand out to it, you see it looks up at your face. Make an Arcana check for me.
It's Twitter.
I have a good Arcana check.
Facial recognition.
12.
Oh no. You have like a +8, don't you?
Yeah. Could have been better.
As you're looking at it, something does not seem right about this bird. And as you reach out to it, it like just kind of stares at you for a short little while. Before it turns to take off again. This bird, brown on top, almost a hummingbird-like. Most of it is like a dark, dark brown with a orange belly.
I'm gonna go close the window behind it, and then go peek my head out of the room, see if anyone else's doors are open, like any sign that maybe someone else is awake.
And then you hear it buckle behind my door. All right, you proved your point. Let me get the door for you. Open the door. And then Ivor's just hanging from the doorknob.
Yeah, he's just like hanging from the doorknob, and he's just like... And after that, he's just like... And he's just like, right, fine. I'll share a room with Belden next time. He'll appreciate my company.
Oh, he would love that.
Silent.
See, he agrees.
As long as you'll be a good drinking buddy.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
You've been awake for a while.
No,
Yes.
we just woke up.
Apparently, I left my window open. Got a bit cold. I thought I closed it.
And it's a freezing night almost every night here.
Yeah, strangely, I saw a little bird. I didn't think there'd be much of those around here where it's so cold.
In the dead of winter, a little bird. Did it look normal?
Yeah, it just looked like a bird and kind of give him a description.
I wonder if it just got left behind or something, rather than migrating south.
I don't know. It's just a bird, probably inconsequential.
Meanwhile, up in Ghost's room, Darimos is getting dressed. And Darimos is getting dressed, and as he does, he's like kind of muttering to himself, so I need to go here, do that, and then I need to talk to this person, do that. And just kind of like going through his checklist of the day.
You'd think you'd write it down at some point. You always forget half the things you say. You end up having to just think about all of it again.
I do write it down. I just tend to not carry those contracts on my person. As, you know, if anything were to happen, client-patron confidentiality.
Couldn't you make disintegratable copies?
Not worth the magic it would cost.
Good enough. And she'll just like kind of crawl off to like hang halfway off the bed and just be like, you have to go right now? Already?
Yes. Unfortunately, I've quite the big to-do list today. Because someone likes to cause a scene with psychopathic murderers.
That's me. Help me up.
right. And he'll go and he'll pick you up and like set you on your feet.
And she'll just kind of lay against it, just like, ugh. She's not a morning person.
We'll need to start waking up earlier if you're, going to be leading a full frontal assault on
Yeah. Won't they be surprised when they learn I can and have been able to this whole time?
Right.
You have to go. 5 more minutes. Please.
He goes and he's just like, he's like about to step out of the door, that he just goes, I'll give you 15, and locks the door again.
So now Ivor's at the window.
Just like, I'm gonna go check on them.
But from their point of view, it's muffled outside. They don't hear it.
I can phasmophobia.
Yeah, the phasmophobia muffled.
The muffled.
Hear the Markiplier scream. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
This is part of the reason why I'm glad we have a small following. I don't want to be sent this fan art.
Yeah.
Oh, just you wait.
Oh no.
And
Wait
no,
till you
stop.
see Rickos and
Don't.
Ivor.
Don't give me.
The two beasts.
The fan art is just Ivor looking traumatized.
No, it's gonna be them, and Rikus is gonna be holding a little bat cow.
No, if anything,
Here,
it's
I'll open
going.
the door for
If
you.
anything, it's just going to be Ivor bawling into his hands, and Reiko's just giving a little pat on the back. There. First time walking out on your parents, huh?
Oh my gosh.
When a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
See, what I had in mind was wholesome cuddling, you guys.
Sure.
Fins
Sure.
when I play games with men.
That was a whole sum. That's a whole lot. Is what it was.
Oh my god. I swear I will leave.
All right, 15 minutes passes.
Oh my gosh.
But as steps out, he comes out fully dressed with his mantle on, the plume of feathers there, and you see he is in his full form. He's like a foot taller in this form. You hear his tail is longer, and of course you see the large red wings that span behind him. His horns are a little bit more grand, but for the most part he looks very similar to how he did last night when you talked to him. But he steps out, and as he does, he you see he's like buttoning the cuffs on his sleeves. Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure.
As well.
But I am afraid that I have obligations I must see to.
Please do try to keep her out of trouble as much as you can. Keep her from getting killed, at least. I would greatly appreciate it.
I'll do my best. And Belden as well.
We'll make you proud.
He kind of chuckles and he's like, as he before he leaves, he kind of goes and looks at your armor belt and he's like, now I've been meaning to ask, did you create that yourself?
I did. Folks at home are too fond of me for making it, but I'm proud of it.
You should be. That's some excellent craftsmanship. Tell me, would this... I see that you use a more enchanted gem inlay structure when it comes to outfitting your armor, but how are you with mechanical devices?
I've tinkered a little bit, and I've been real fascinated. I'd like to learn more.
Well, if I come across any undue scrap from a certain company, I'll be sure to drop it off for you.
It'd be much, much appreciated.
Well,
and if you need anything, I'm your guy.
I'll have to write up a contract then. But in the meantime, I'm afraid I have other contracts that I need to see to. Ta-ta! And he disappears in a burst of flame and vanishes.
Grandiose is an understatement. So,
I never gave much thought to meeting a devil, but it was a lot more pleasant than I expected.
right?
He's the only pleasant one you'll find.
But you see what I was saying about, like, the stories you hear growing up, right? I mean, especially around here, I mean, the War of the Black Gates and demons and devils and all of the like. You just kind of assume they're all malintended.
Yeah.
I said I can fix him and I meant it.
Point proven. Was this before or after you murdered your parents?
Good question. Both. But before it was I can fix him, and after it was he can fix me physically with my arms.
Is he the one who made those?
No, but he commissioned them.
I often forget that you have those. You use them so naturally that they just, I assume, sometimes my mind just sees gloves.
Comes with years of practice and covering them with gloves and sleeves. I technically could go sleeveless out in the cold, but that would frost the joints.
Right. And sometimes it's nice not to show all your cards.
Exactly. It's fun seeing people's faces when they see it for the first time. Belden's was amusing.
Belden, if you don't mind me asking, why was your kinfolk not too keen of your armor making? I mean, it's quite impressive.
They didn't like. They thought it disgraceful to dwarven heritage to mix the arcane with our craftsmanship.
Hmm.
At least the clan I grew up in.
So they are quite traditional then.
I'd say they're quite wrong. What you make is quite amazing.
Oh, it is, no doubt about that.
I mean, even beyond functionality and what it does, I mean, it's just also very expertly woven and designed.
Mm.
Well, thank you. You know, I mean, honestly, I'm not welcome home anymore because of it, but I think I've been better off.
Sometimes your kinfolk doesn't understand what decision is best for you. I understand.
Sometimes home is not where those who share blood with you are. Sometimes it can be found in the company you keep.
I can
I
see
know
that.
that. Yeah, I know that for sure.
Well, should we get some breakfast?
Yes, please.
So,
Just pulls the food service rope, or just let's
We don't
let's
even
make
have
us
to
do
go
it. Like,
downstairs.
no, we don't.
No, not the escort. We wanted breakfast.
Wait,
Exactly.
do they need? Are they going to escort the breakfast to our chambers?
No, that's not
Sure,
what
if you want to go in there with her, I'm sure she'll bring some.
oh my gosh.
I need some coffee.
So, eventually breakfast is brought up to you. And as you finish, you make your way downstairs to the bustling main floor. And of course, as you head down, you see Tulip sitting in a corner booth, her half-moon spectacles at the tip of her nose as she is flipping through some ledgers. Pipe in her mouth. She seems to be doing some form of paperwork. And there are two of the security that are flanking her booth.
Alright, so what do we want to do today?
Shop.
Shop, yes. I do want to check out the job board as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think it would be good to figure out a way, even if we don't go today, figure out a way to get down to that elemental.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we want to do? We have the dagger, but I suppose we could leave that for a couple days.
Mm-hmm. There are a few
I also
notes.
need-
It'll take a while to go through them all if you want to take your time.
Right. And while we're there as well, I do need to stop by the post.
And there are some very good other places to eat. And the fighting pit.
Ah, yes. I like that one. Is there anything you wish to accomplish while we're here, Belden?
I want to go check out the fighting pit.
And I'm sure the shops as well. There's a nice blacksmith.
Oh, I don't do much. I guess we did want to find some,
And a good
check,
jeweler.
see if there's some gems we can use some, wasn't there an amulet or a locket you wanted made?
Ah, 2 lockets.
Right. And then also I need to Didn't you say that you knew of someone in the city who could infuse this with magic? I gesture to the big barrel backpack that I have.
She would, wouldn't she? She'd know someone in the magic shop.
You would remember talk of there being a wizard. The same wizard that made the map for Borv. You've never had any personal dealings with him, but you have heard of him. In your time spent in this city, this guy has got... You've seen this guy go through all different shades of public approval. From being a hero who fended off, monsters on the at the city walls, to being like a complete public menace of just being just
like him already.
Overall eccentric, crazy old man that nobody seems to quite get or understand. You've never had any personal dealings with him, but he's made headlines a few times for saving the city or public indecency, public intoxication.
So we're just talking Shrek 3 Merlin.
I haven't seen it. I don't know him personally, but I do know of someone.
Okay. Well, perhaps we could go there first, just to get the ball rolling on that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it would be useful to have its capabilities for shopping and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that could be done quickly.
I don't know. I'll have to see what he says about it. Alright. You want to set out then?
Let's be off.
So, you head out into Snowdrift. No rain, but it is overcast. Mist in the air. The occasional warm steam that you pass. So, where are we going?
The magic shop to meet the wizard.
Ah. So,
Please be a goofy
As
song. Please
you-
be a goofy song.
as you go, you ask around, and you eventually find the place. This strange twisting tower. Almost looks like a drill came out of the ground and then got hollowed out.
Awesome.
And yeah, you see some light shining through a couple of the windows.
This will go up just... It's less of a shop and more of a residence, right?
Yes. There is no
Okay, so
dedicated
she'll-
magic shop here in Snowdrift, at least not yet.
She'll knock on the door then.
As you knock, after a few seconds, you see a small gnomish woman go and peek up out the door. Yes?
We're looking for the wizard. Is he in?
Do you have an appointment?
No. But we do have a work order.
I see. And do you have that paperwork?
Yes. Hand it over.
Right. And she looks through it. Well, this seems to be in order. Well, I will go and fetch him. Please come inside. And she opens the door for you.
And you enter into this weirdly cozy living area on the base floor. And after a minute, she's like, I'll go fetch him for you.
Thank you.
And she disappears up a set of winding staircases that match the grooves of this drill-like shape. And after a few minutes, you hear a... Master Magna? And it's all muffled. Master Magna, get out of there right now!
This is not the time to be an introvert.
You just hear some muffled exchanges. And then finally you down comes to down. It's like, he'll be down with you shortly. Can I make you some tea?
Yes, that would be nice. Thank you.
And so she goes and she disappears up the stairs again. And then finally you hear this of other footsteps coming down the stairs. And you see it appears slowly from bottom to top. You see these fuzzy slippers
Yes.
that are going. These fuzzy slippers. And then comes down and basically just some really worn trousers, a really worn tunic with just an old, like, just robe that's haphazardly on, hanging off one shoulder. And you see just unkempt beard and hair on this elven man. And just this wild brownish gray hair with deep set circles under his eyes. And he just kind of comes down. And you notice he's got a flask in his hand and he's stumbling a little bit.
You know it's 9-8. Never mind.
Ghost just glancing at him.
This man knows how to start his morning.
What do you want?
We just came here for a work order.
Okay. What is it?
This, and I'll just step my backpack over. Basically, I just need the runes here infused with magic. The skeleton's there, it just needs life.
Oh, you need necromancy. Hold on, let me find
No. It was a metaphor.
It was meant for who?
It's an expression. It was just an expression.
You have depression?
Okay, so what do you want?
It just needs magic. It just needs magic in the rune so I can shrink it down.
Oh. Right. I see. And how are we paying? Cash? Favors?
The work order, it's already been paid for.
By who?
Although I am curious, what do you have in mind for favors?
What did you have in mind for favors?
Never mind. Eloquent.
It was paid for by Borg.
I already gave him his work order.
Exactly, that's what this is.
And he, like, looks. And you just hear muttering. Pays your bail one time, and suddenly it's like you're his own slave. And he goes, looks at the paperwork. And by this time, the gnome woman goes and brings you all nice hot cups of tea.
Thank you.
Why didn't you get me one? 'Cause you don't deserve it. And she walks off.
Oh, that's a sick bird.
All right. It'll take me a few hours.
Sounds good.
You guys want to hang out while I do it?
Oh, we'll be kind of busy. We need to. Ivor would like to stay though. I mean, he would love to visit with you.
I got some storm spice. If you want.
No, I don't. Thank you though.
All right, your loss. More from me. All right. And he kind of like inspects the barrel. All right, what's the best way to? And he like tries to like lift it. And it's like, and he can lift it, but it's like really awkwardly spaced or sized for his like physique. And he's just like, he goes like this and turns it upside down and throws it over himself as he navigates to the stairs.
Should we help him up those stairs?
No, let's get out of here.
I feel like I would want to stay, but only to watch.
Right?
He's fascinating.
Yeah, after that, the gnome kind of comes back down and she's just like, sorry about him. He's him.
Amusing.
That's one way to put it.
You have to deal with him, so good luck.
I get paid to deal with him.
Good. You deserve it.
And thank you for the tea.
Yeah, thanks for the tea.
Of course. I will make sure that upon the finish of his work order, it will be ready for pickup and you don't have to... And she kind of looks back over her shoulder as he almost falls down the stairs but catches himself. I will make sure he doesn't cause any delays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that should be everything.
All right. Good. Well, we will see you later today then.
Thank you.
And she opens the door for you.
Okay. Where to next?
Did you guys smell that? What was that smell?
There were a lot of smells. Which one are you
I
talking
don't
about?
know. All of them, it kind of made one. It was extra foul.
I was gonna say burning, but then there was also something sour.
You're right, a burning with a sour note with just a hint of BO.
Probably just him.
Probably just him.
So where to next?
Oh, right. I guess as far as shops go, I'm always interested just to see what the blacksmith has to offer. Occasionally you might find something interesting at a general store as far as magic items are concerned. And then, most importantly, I wish to go and look for the alchemy. Are there any particular shops that you guys wish to visit?
Been in all of them before.
Right. But is there anything specific that we're looking for? I know from the blacksmith if he has any ingots of silver and perhaps any gems. So perhaps we could also go visit the jewel crafter as well. Just to see what they have.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know what, let's go there first.
Alright.
Alright, so Jewel Crafter.
Tiffany.
Okay. There are quite a few jewelry shops around. Is there one, a particular style you're looking for?
Well, it's more looking for the gems themselves, even if they're uncut.
Okay, so you want the raw gems.
The more
and
the
stuff.
raw material.
Okay. So
Because we can craft it ourselves.
Didn't I get a couple though? Didn't I get the...
Oh yeah, didn't you already get the gems?
Yeah, I thought I already got the gems.
So we just need
the
this silver.
Check your
Oh.
inventory. Did you get any gems?
Good idea.
I remember
I
getting the
have
silver, but I don't
gems?
remember gems.
I don't think you actually bought the
I
gems.
don't think I actually bought them. Because they were expensive, and then
And
you were
wanted
like...
to see what the other options were
Yeah,
and better
yeah.
pricing.
Yeah, okay. Never
So
mind.
yes,
Yeah.
the raw uncut gems. To the local geologist.
Basically. Darimos would probably know them well. Nerd.
So, as you
Made it that way.
you eventually find one named what was it? Steinwall's Stones. And as you enter in, there's all sorts of rocks up on display. Geodes, smooth river rocks, crystals, and of course, behind locked display cases, the more valuable gemstones. And as you enter in, you see somebody examining what looks like an amethyst. An older man, a human, clean shaven except for one large, well-kept mustache. And kind of wavy hair is all gray. And he is got the spectacles with the magnifying glasses. And he's got it clicked down as he's inspecting an amethyst.
Good morning.
Oh, yes, hello. How can I help you?
The lady here is looking for some uncut gemstones. I'm not sure which ones.
Preferably a ruby. Or something like of the sort. But I'll likely only be able to afford the cheaper stuff.
Oh, rubies are quite on the expensive side of things. As you know, their efficacy and as magical components, they are quite rare, as most of the time as they're used as magical components, they are consumed upon use. Henceforth, their scarcity and rarity and need to charge so highly for them.
So I'll probably like to just see your cheapest ones for now.
Well, how large are we looking for a stone?
Not very large. I don't know how to say the size, but it's just small.
Like probably anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch diameter.
maybe even that's too big. Like
Like an 1/8 inch
I
diameter?
I don't know. I don't know how things work. I mean, Ghost would know, but not me. Just
Probably as big as my head.
really little.
I would say,
tiny.
so
'Cause
maybe
I
an
just-
1/8 inch diameter would probably be...
Because I just want them to be inset into the lockets.
Which you get good size ones.
Well, 8 inch diameter is fairly nice.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see. So you wanted to look at a ruby, a standard sized ruby, which standard being about standard size being about a 1/4 inch, is worth roughly 5,000 gold. But actually, let me see if that was correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
yep,
I'm
that's
saying.
correct. But a 1/4 inch, about half size, would run you half price. So, our 1/8 inch ruby could potentially be sold to you for 2,500.
Hmm.
And is that uncut or already cut?
Uncut. Cutting it does not take much effort, and the price of the gemstone itself more than covers the cost for me to cut it to shape. It's part of the package deal, as it were.
Right.
But I do have pre-cut as well.
Are you set on Ruby? There
I
are...
could go for something much
there-
cheaper, like a
there-
garnet.
I was gonna say there's some red garnets that are...
They're never rubies. They're always garnets.
Yep.
Yes, I could give you a 1/8 inch diameter for garnet for 50 gold pieces. They run about 100 gold full size.
Why not get 2 full-size ones? Looks nicer.
Because I only need one.
Oh, you're not gonna have it in both?
No,
It's just in the one.
just in the one. I want a different stone for the other one.
Oh, you do want full size?
For the 50 gold?
Or 100.
For
100 gold is the 1/4 inch. 50 gold is the 1/8 inch. It is, this is standard pricing.
I'll go with the full size.
Perfect. You want, do any of these cuts suffice? And he pulls up like a little display case and opens it up, and there's like oval, square, perfect circle. Or would you want a custom cut?
How custom can these cuts be?
If a design goes too far as to compromise the integrity of the gemstone, I will let you know.
I think I'll try a custom cut.
Right, and what is the shape that we need?
An eye.
Ooh, an eye.
Kind of an almond shape.
I can work with that. And-
Vertical. I'll be placing it vertical.
Perfect. And you said you wanted to try a different stone?
Mm-hmm. And I believe it's what I'm looking for. Is that let's have one that glows, but I'm only getting this one. Which I think it's called Uperlite. The glowy one. It looks really cool.
That one.
That one. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's the one.
I don't know how valuable Uperlite would be, but it does look really cool under certain lighting.
Ah,
It
yes.
dispels anger and fear.
Let me see. What would be the closest thing to that?
Is it technically like a crystal?
Yeah, it looks like a normal rock, but in certain light, it looks like it's glowing gold, and
Mad
it's
Max.
got exactly like like my skin. She's trying to
Let's
find
see.
something that's very similar to her skin, with the glowing gold, orangish amber color.
Oh yes, that kind of stone can be. That kind of stone is found around Lake Aegisar. Not fairly abundant, not using any spell components, so its price is fairly underwhelming. A pristine cut one would probably run you about, let's say, 15 gold for the quarter-inch.
All right, I'll take that. Same size as the other one. No.
And you wouldn't happen to sell ingots of silver or gold, would you?
Oh, no. I do not work in metals.
Okay.
So are these the ones you want?
And if possible, I would like the other one to look like it's in the shape of a flame, perhaps.
I could certainly give it a shot. Just give me about an hour or so, and I can have this ready for you. That will be 115 gold total.
Right. Do. Remove. My wallet has been hurt. Thank you very much.
Is there anything else I can help you gentlemen with? And he looks at Belden. I see that you yourself have incorporated many gemstones into your fine work of armor.
Thank you, I have. I'm looking for something that would, a little bit, more durable, that won't crack under pressure. I was thinking along the lines of maybe some alexandrite.
Yes. Alexandrite is definitely a good solid backing. Another, however, it can get quite pricey depending on how much you may want. Something that might be a little bit more preferable is we do have some ancient amber that has been reinforced in the heat of the underwater volcanoes in this area. So, bit sturdier than your standard amber, but worth just as much. The alexandrite runs about 500 gold standard, where amber only runs about 100 gold.
Could you make any deals for someone wanting to practice and improve their craft?
I am afraid I cannot, in good conscience, make that deal. You've no doubt seen the jewelry shops around. I can't be caught giving special treatment to someone. However, I can in fact, I would be interested in some trade work, if coin is an issue for you.
What do you have any work in mind that you need doing?
Well, there is my suppliers, they are geologists from all around. They find neat rocks for me and then they drop them off. However, my supply of azurite has run a bit dry. There's normally quite the large deposit in a cave a few miles outside the city limits, and usually I go there myself to extract my supply. It is quite abundant there. But it seems that something unsavory has taken up residence within the cave.
Spider?
Not sure.
And about how valuable would you find this work to be for you?
Well, azurite is probably among the cheapest of the gemstones that I work with, only at 10 gold, but it is very useful in not so much magical spell casting, but in creating things such as golems and homunculi. And plus the abundant supply, with how much azurite I could obtain from that cave alone, I would say dealing with the threat that found its way within there is enough to cover a full-size alexandrite gemstone.
I'm gonna, kind of glance over at Reikos. Think
We're
we'll
the
have
one making
time?
the deal. We have all the time in the world. If you want to do it, let's do it.
We'll see what we can do for you, and we'll be back.
Perfect. I will hold on to an alexandrite for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And for you, my good horned fellow, do you have anything that catches your eye that you would like?
Not for me, but thank you for asking.
Well, if you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Thank you.
Of course.
And we'll be back in roughly an hour.
Right, yes. Well, I will have the cut gems ready for you upon your arrival.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. So, you leave Steinwall Stones. What's your next destination?
General store or an apothecary?
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
Alrighty. So you head to the blacksmith shop, and there seems to be like maybe half a dozen. It's a large work area, partially outdoors, partially indoors, almost like an open warehouse, like any cabinet shop you would enter in, except with much more fire and smoke. And you see they're hammering away. It looks like about half of them are working on what looks like standard issue guard equipment that you see the guards holding, working on repairs and forging new stuff. But as you enter in, there is a the first one to acknowledge you. You see this half-elven girl wearing these goggles as she's hammering away, wearing the heavy apron, hammering away. She's got like this short brown hair that cuts off just under her jaw. And she seems to have this beanie that goes down to cover her ears as she's hammering away. She goes, "Be with you in a sec." And like she hammers something, and you hear the hissing of her quenching it. And then she stores her project aside, looks over to you, lifts up the goggles, and her entire face, except for those rings around her eyes, is just stained in soot and everything. So it's like a reverse raccoon. "Howdy, what can I do for you?"
Yes, a couple of questions. First, do you sell ingots of silver?
"Oh yeah, I've got some raw materials that I can sell with. We like to we source everything ourselves, so yeah, I've got some raw materials as well."
All right, and you wanted silver amulets, right?
Mhm.
Perfect. Would I need 1 ingot or 2?
Oh yeah, you could easily
go with 1 ingot.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to buy 2 ingots.
Let me. All right. So silver. Let's see. You see, she like does mental math. Well, if we're going based off of the weight of coinage, I could probably weight of coinage, and I do need to, upsell them for more than it costs to collect and smelt them. So,
Right.
So you want 2? I could give you 2 for 25 gold apiece.
All right. That's a fair trade. Now, how much do you typically charge? And as I'm handing the gold over for it, how much do you typically charge to rent out your forge for the day?
Never had anyone ask that before. I mean, we all got different work schedules, so as long as you're using your own tools, we're all pretty protective of our tools. But as long as you got your own tools, the forge itself, as long as no one else is working on it, I don't see why I wouldn't be able to get you in. There's someone always working here 24/7. There's 10 of us in total, and we've always got someone working at any given time. We're open 24 hours.
Oh, that's very nice of you. And I've been wondering, because I'm quite a ways from my forge. I've had a couple opportunities recently to practice my craft, but are you ever looking for extra hands around? I might be in the city for a couple days, and if you have random work orders, I've been a blacksmith all my life with the Rookwind tribe.
I mean, if we got a surplus of orders, I don't see why we turn away the help. But you say you're from Rookwind?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I
was-
am the blacksmith of the Ironhoof Forge.
And you see, she pauses. You're Ironhoof?
Yes. Reiko's Ironhoof.
She like freezes. Oh, hi, and she like eagerly, she like grabs your hand. I am huge fan of your family's work. Huge
you.
fan. I have, and she's like, come here, and she goes to,
I'm a collector.
and she goes
I have all
to,
your best merch.
she goes to, just like, come this way, and she goes to the back. All right, this is my office right here, and you see there's a bunch of like offices and stuff where, you know, paperwork is filled out, contracts and work orders are signed and everything. You see like you see these are small spaces, and there's you see 10 of them for each of the work things, and it's just like, I have collected every time I see an Ironhoof piece, I just have to get it. And she goes, and you notice on her she's got like a armor display on there of a set of plate that is sized for a dwarf, so very bulky and wide. Just like, I got this one 4 years ago. I bought it at an auction here, and then I got this great sword right here. This one, and you recognize great sword. How familiar do you think you are with the many pieces that you have made?
Very familiar. I have my own style with it, and it will have, all of them will have my signature somewhere, like hidden in the pommel or things like that.
Yeah. So you find this great sword has your father's make, and just like, and I got this. Normally it's made for combat, but I managed to get this. And she pulls out a knife rack. She pulls out a knife rack and a metal block and starts going through one by one. And this you recognize as your grandfather's. It's just like, I have been collecting these. Like, even the fact that it's so old, it's pristine. And this, and one of my personal favorites. I usually just carry this with me for self-defense. And she pulls up this thick weighted machete, and you see your signature on there.
Yeah.
And just like, this one has
that one.
This one is just perfect. It has got just the right, and she like starts swinging it, just the right amount of like heft to balance, where it's like, I feel like I can swing it and I can chop really effectively. I can like cut through plants and stuff and wood, but but it doesn't feel like it's gonna take me down with it when I swing it. It's like, oh, your work is just top notch.
Well, I'm glad to meet a fan.
Oh,
Just goes in the background, just
oh man,
It's I've been away from home for a while, so it's nice to see a lot of my family's work in one place.
Oh yes, every time I go to all the auctions, like, these are bona fide collector's items. Okay, like, I don't know if you realize this. You've got like your family has like a whole secret fan club. You realize how many collectors and people will go and just like buy these as soon as they see it. Like, oh man, some people, they have these pieces and they don't know what they got, because it's like, yeah, there are certain things, you know, as you see out there, we mass produce stuff, but that mass produced stuff just doesn't quite match that personal touch, you know, like the good old days.
Well, would you like something to add to the collection?
You see her eyes like, what did you have in mind?
Here, I'm gonna reach down and pull out from my boot a little small knife. Hand it over. It belonged to my great-great-great-grandfather.
And she's
You can
just,
see his signature on it. But apart from that, it also has, rather than his normal signature, as it's normally a family heirloom, you can see the giant runes carved into it. You won't find any effect with them, but as it's meant for the wielder. But either way, consider it a gift.
oh, I've got to like frame this and put it up somewhere. Oh. And she like goes and she like just like reverently, as if you handed her, I don't know, the Leona itself, goes and just reverently and gingerly sets it down on the desk. And she like
No,
look.
you never gave me your name. What was your name?
Oh, Christy Malbaro. And after a moment, she's like, looks at the dagger, looks up. Can I hug you?
He'll just kind of chuckle and open up his arms.
And she just like goes, and you hear this little, like almost like a little squeal.
As there's black soot now.
There's a perfect imprint
bird.
of her just on your armor, and then she's like, "Oh, we've got some polishing rags up front. You can just grab one on
Oh,
your way
no,
out."
it's fine. I have my own.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course you would.
And what was the name of the blacksmith shop again?
I don't think I gave it to you. I don't think I wrote one down for the blacksmith here, actually. Since it's like a team of people that kind of work together with it, let's call it, the Hammering Coalition.
Sorry, say it again?
The Hammering Coalition.
The Hammering Coalition. And you said she was a dwarf? Or
No.
elf?
No. She
Yeah,
is
she was a
half
half-elf,
elf.
right?
Half elf.
Yep.
I was half right.
Half elf. Collection in Snowdrift. Blacksmithing. Okay. So, you showed me some of my work. I would love to see some of yours.
Oh, it's my work just isn't really, that crazy. I got this one over here. It's still a work in progress. And she goes over and she goes over and you see this this mace she's working on, but it's like an orb at the end, so it's like a morning star without the spikes. So it's just this round thing on there. Just like, now I know it's a work in progress with this, and sometimes with the the round shape, it doesn't make as much of an impact. It doesn't make as much as impact as the flat surface. But what I plan on doing is ridging out and adding on a bunch of studs onto it. So that way, rather than getting the round surface, you'll have minimum, I want to space them out, you'll get minimum like 8 to 10 points of contact per each hit. And that way you don't lose any of the oomph when landing with the hammer. But I also wanted to add in a little bit of utility. So I actually have the center of the sphere a little bit hollow. I have it hollow as it runs down the shaft of the handle. And basically what you can do is there's a little button at the bottom right here, and you can you'll get this little capsule. You can go and you fill it with oil and you screw it in, and then once you click it, and she clicks it, and then you see a little swivel on the top of the orb open up, and a little bit of fire comes out. Now you got a torch. You've got a torch, and or a fire starter. You need a campfire. You don't want to use flint and steel. Don't got any spellcasters with it. You can just hit the button, light the fire, hit the button again to close it off, choke the fire out, and boom.
I love it.
You see, she beams as you say that.
Well, and the studs are a good idea. I mean, it's very similar to what I did with this one. I didn't design the hammer, but I did apply the studs on there as we were going to go against some werebears. And the silver I knew was going to be useful.
Oh, and she looks at it. Oh, okay.
Well, you'll see that the studs have quite a useful effect.
Yes, lining weapons with silver is can be very, very useful, but it can get pretty expensive, so we usually only do it upon specific request. And plus, the monsters that silver is highly effective against are relatively rare for the most part.
Right. One thing you could do, if it's already hollow, if you added a small other points of hollow around it as well, and then you change out the oil to something a little more spicy, I guess. Something a little more combustible. Perhaps you could engulf the whole head in flames as well.
Oh, yes, I did have plans for that. However, in certain things, without certain magical protections, if you're going at it from the pure engineering standpoint, it's pretty hard to do that without causing harm to the wielder as well.
That's what my thoughts.
Yeah, because doing so, you'd have to insulate. The shaft way more in order to keep it from heating up and burning and melting through. And to do that, it would also compromise grip strength on there. So usually things like that, beyond simple utilities, it's best to leave that to enchanters and
Yeah.
more of a mage's purview there.
Right. Do you think you could include or basically modify my current weapon to have that torch capability?
Oh, your hammer?
Do you think you'd have to? Do you think you'd be able to do something like that, or is that a bit?
With the hammer,
It'd be kind of hard to do without planning it into
yes,
the original design.
Yes. In order to, I think hollowing out the shaft of your maul would definitely compromise the integrity, might even break it. And not only that, it seems that this hollowed out spot with the bell, I don't want to cause any damage to that.
Above table, I forgot that was already hollowed out. All right. And this hammer that she already has that she's working on, is it a, like, stat wise, is it a maul?
It is a mace.
It is a mace. Okay, cool.
Yep. D6.
Okay. And speaking of magic items, do you happen to have any in shop?
Oh, no. Sadly, no. Our last magic item we were able to collect from an adventuring party. We originally got it from them, but some other gentleman came and purchased it maybe a week or so ago, and we haven't received any magic items. Sometimes for certain jobs and work, adventurers, rather than paying us in coin, will pay us in enchanted items they find.
All right. Well, I mean, apart from really the main reason I came here was for the silver ingots and to petition using your forge. But like I was saying, if you have any work orders in and you're needing extra hand to earn a little bit of gold or anything, I'd be happy to come in and help.
Well, I can't exactly refuse that, now can I? Yeah, I will keep that in mind.
Good. Well, we will be in town. We're staying over at the
Tulip's place.
Tulip's place. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, we'll eventually find our way back there.
Well, I will reach out to you then.
Perfect. Well, Christy, it was a pleasure getting to know you. And enjoy that new knife.
You as well. I will. I certainly will.
All right. You have a nice day.
Oh, yeah. You too. You too. Thank you. And you see she scuttles back to her office and lets out one last little squeal as she goes to probably admire the knife again.
Rakos has a big grin and he kind of holding his head up high and everything.
Look at you with your own reputation, your own little fan club.
This adventuring stuff is fun, but there are days I genuinely do miss the forge.
Okay, now you have a chance to go back to it.
Yes, before we leave, I do want to spend at least one day working the forge.
Oh, no problem. We're not in a rush.
Someday
All right.
I'd like to experience what it's like to have your family's work known.
It's always steps. The difference is my family's been around a long time with this specific trade, and you're beginning those steps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been around.
I'm talking about
They like
your...
to hide from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about your work specifically. Perhaps you could request either a jewelsmith or whatever it is that you prefer. I see the tools that you carry. I've seen your work. You could always petition them as well and just say, hey, do you need any work done? That's one way to get known.
Yeah, I'd like to work with you in the forge one of these days too.
Definitely.
I've got my own tools. I just don't have much experience with them.
Well, I'd be happy to walk you through it.
And I'll happily watch from the sidelines.
So after that interaction, a couple of your errands checked off your list. Still a few places to go, which we will continue this day next time. Thank you all to everybody who tuned in, lurking or otherwise. I know we got quite a few lurkers that just like to stalk our stuff. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Rael. Looking at you, Rael. You are our supreme lurker, and yeah. But yeah, thank you to everybody who tuned in. And of course, let me roll that D4. Rakos, would you thank our lovely patrons, please?
D4 Fan Brennan, thank you so much for your support. It's thanks to you, my family has been able to carry on and continue to make works of art. And not only works of art, but functional. And I thank you for that. And sorry I gave my knife away, but, if I make another, maybe I'll set it aside for you. Thank you.
In certain contexts, that could sound like a threat.
I have a knife with your name on it.
So yeah,
There you go.
so just another plug of our Patreon. At the lowest tier, you'll just get access to a couple Discord channels as well as some behind the scenes stuff. At the mid tier, you get your your names read aloud, and at the highest tier, you get the permanent discount and your names read aloud in character, whether that be for one of my NPCs or any of the players' voices. Also, I'd like to point out, yes, I knew you were there, Rael. She went on, it's like, how'd you know I was here? And also, don't think I didn't notice, Bentley. Thank you so much for putting your using your Prime subscription on us. I salute you, sir.
Hey, it helps.
It doesn't. I mean, it does, but also, that money is going right back into your pocket.
I know, but hey, if number go higher.
Number go higher, make good, make very good.
More number better.
One number be gooder. All right, but thank you all once again. We will see you all next week. I hope you have a fantastic night, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.